Hello and welcome to Tarot Sherpa. I am Christine and today I will be your guide through the Night Sun Tarot. Night Sun Tarot is authored and illustrated by Fabio Listriani, who is a freelance comic book author, graphic novel designer. He's worked with Marvel, he's worked with Titan Comics, he's worked with Warhammer, many others. He's also the author and illustrator of the Santa Muerte Tarot, the Notoria Tarot, and the Goetia Tarot. So, let's have a look. So, it's a 78 card Rider-Waite-Smith based deck. It comes in a little tuck tab box. Nothing too extravagant there. The cards are 2 5/8 by 4 3/4 or 6.5 by 12 centimeters. So, kind of like most Lo Scarabeo cards, are a little bit narrower than the American manufactured cards. You get a 62-page little white book. It is in 5 languages. It's in English, Italian, Spanish, French, and German. So you get about 14 pages per language. And for the definitions, they give just some keywords that could be both positive and negative. So you could theoretically do reversals with this deck, although you would know because the back of the card is not omnidirectional, it's unidirectional. But it has the nice feature of giving the planetary and astrological attribution for each one of the cards for your minors as well as the majors. For the majors, they give the astrological attribution, plus they also give the Hebrew letter that's associated with the card. So you get that along with a few more keywords, both positive and negative, and then you get a point to ponder. So, for example, the Emperor here asks, how is my material life evolving and what am I building? So that relates to the Emperor as stability, strength, rationalism, dominion, the builder. What are you building? Interesting point to ponder. It's thorough but brief for the descriptions. So worth a read. And then your deck, you've got 22 majors, 56 minors. We've got Pentacles, Swords, Cups, Wands, and then your majors. We've got the World going back all the way down through to the Fool. So we'll take that a little slower and go one by one. Okay, so we'll go one by one through the deck, beginning with the Major Arcana and the Fool. So there's a lot of little details in these cards, and while it's kind of loosely a Rider-Waite-Smith deck, there are also a lot of Thoth deck influences, and this particular deck kind of makes me think of heavy metal rock album art. So we have the Magician. On his arms are some tattoos in Greek. One of them I can't quite read, but one of them says Thelema, which is the religious point of view. First proponent was Aleister Crowley, but has certainly grown and gone beyond that since then. Using the Orphic egg here, kind of a nod to the Thoth deck in the High Priestess. The Empress, the egg is cracked and grown, is now flown away. Emperor. Hierophant. interesting point of view on the lovers because we have the Empress and the Emperor and the Hierophant, and they're all seeming to try and come to some sort of conclusion on perhaps a disagreement. So quite interesting there. Chariot. This is kind of what some people might term as kind of a darker deck. Justice here is card 8, kind of like back to the Tarot of Marseille where Justice was 8. Hermit, Wheel, lots of interesting little machinations going on there. Strength is card 11. Hanged Man, Death, Temperance, the Devil, the Tower, the Star, the Moon, the Sun, Judgment, and the World. So next we'll move on to the Suit of Wands. You'll notice that the minor arcana each have a common background color. Makes it pretty easy to spot who's who on a spread. Ace, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, Page, Knight, Queen, and the King. Next up is the suit of cups or chalices, beginning with the Ace, 2, 3, 4. Everything's very edgy and angular, even the halos around the people of chalices here. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, Page, Knight, Queen, and the King. Next up, swords, beginning with the Ace, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, that's 9, that's 10. Second, I thought I had it backwards. Nope. Page, sorry. Knight, Queen, and the King. Last of all, Pentacles or coins here. Ace, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, Page, Knight, Queen, and the King. Well, I hope you enjoyed our journey through the Night, Sun, and Tarot. Roses and Thorns for this deck. This deck can be a little bit challenging. There is not a great deal of symbology in there. However, if you look closely, you can see it, but it does take a little bit of study. It is a little bit darker than most decks. I think it's an advantage to have something that's a little bit darker in your repertoire, depending on who's sitting across from a table from you, somebody who plunks down with their favorite Iron Maiden t-shirt that they've been wearing a really long time across from you may not really benefit from something like Pamela Chen's Tarot of the Owls. While it's a great deck, that's not going to speak to that person. So you have to kind of think about your audience and who your querent is coming to you, or what do you like. So this is it's heavy metal, it's sci-fi, you know, sci-fi thriller kind of alien looking kind of stuff. It's 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 a little bit more punchy, perhaps. It adds a certain amount of foreboding, I think, to a reading, not in the sense that people are afraid to figure out, what they're usually people are afraid to figure out what their consequences of their actions are, and that's really what tarot tells you. It doesn't necessarily tell you the future. It tells you how your present has a way of playing out based on what you're doing with your life. So, anyway, roses and thorns, a little bit of roses, a little bit of thorns. It's a little dark. I don't use it really often, but there are some times when you kind of need something that's a little bit dark to kind of dig into an emotional set and then be able to lift it kind of out of the darkness. Part of what the book says is it kind of deals with everybody has a shadow side. What's in your shadow that you have to bring to light? So it's a good way to dive into one's shadows. All right. If you liked this video, please hit like. If you like this type of content, please subscribe. I'm going to follow this up with a reading using the spread that's in the little booklet here. And it is called the Trident of Shiva spread. It's a little short spread, but I think we can get a few interesting things out of a nice little 5-card spread here. Trident of Shiva. All right. I hope to see you in the next video. Thank you for watching, and goodbye for now.